Please be seated. Good evening, everyone. Can I welcome you to the annual council meeting? These proceedings are being live streamed, and I would also like to welcome members of the press and public who may be watching online. I now call upon the Chief Executive to read the notice convening the meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You are summoned to attend the annual meeting of Sunderland City Council to be held in the Council Chamber, City Hall, Plater Way, Sunderland on Wednesday, 20th of May 2026 at 6 p.m, at which it is proposed to consider and transact the business as set out in the agenda.
Thank you. We will now proceed to the election of Mayor. I would like to invite nominations for the office of Mayor for the ensuing year. Councillor Blackett, I understand you would like to make a nomination.
Evening, Mr. Mayor, honourable guests and colleagues. I hereby nominate Councillor Robert Hutchinson as Mayor for the coming year.
Thank you. Councillor Greener, do you second the nomination?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, honourable guests and colleagues. Yes, I would like to second the nomination.
I invite Councillor Blackett to speak to the nomination.
Thank you. It is usual for a long-standing elected member to take on the duties of Mayor from within the ranks of the majority party. This year, after reforms, resounding success in the recent election, we are all the new kids on the block, with no long-standing members from amongst our ranks. Whilst there are numerous candidates in our ranks, one man stands out as an obvious choice. A larger-than-life character who I've known for over 30 years. I still remember the first meeting we had. He spoke for longer and for louder than myself. I therefore remember that. A man who has worked in the music and events industry. He's worked with Led Zeppelin, with David Bowie, and many, many more. As Mayor, I'm sure he'll be able to regale everyone, members of the community, people of Sunderland, with stories from his life which are fascinating. I therefore have no hesitation in proposing Councillor Rob Hutchinson as Mayor of Sunderland. He will be a fine ambassador for the city. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Blackett, and congratulations on your first speech in this chamber. I would now invite Councillor Greener to speak to the nomination.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have known Rob for many years. He is a well-known face in the whole community, not just Silksworth, and always ready to help anyone in need. He will be a great choice to represent Sunderland, the city and the City Council. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Greener. I have received notice that Councillor Edgeworth wishes to speak. Councillor Edgeworth?
Thank you. Yes, I'd like to make an alternative nomination for the position, please, and I'd like to nominate Stephen O'Brien for Mayor.
Mr. Mayor, I'll second that.
Councillor Paul Edgeworth, would you like to speak to your nomination?
I would. Thank you very much. When Etcham Hack became Mayor, there was a lot of commentary online, most of which I won't repeat, but one common theme was that he wasn't experienced enough to be Mayor. And today we have obviously a brand new councillor, as has been alluded to, being proposed as Mayor just because he's a member of the majority party, and that isn't, in our view, how civic honours and supposedly non-political roles should be allocated. And so while I cast no judgment on the nomination from Reform UK, it does give me great pleasure to instead nominate the father of the house, the parent of the chamber, if you will. At the ripe old age of 35, I'm proposing the longest serving and most experienced councillor here to be Mayor. The serving councillor with the longest, the biggest and the best track record of standing up for liberty, fairness and freedom, and of taking the fight to the establishment and disrupting the political hierarchy in this place. The councillor who has the most experience of being on the receiving end of rulings, rebukes and slapdowns from mayors, and who therefore knows all there is to know about keeping good order in the chamber. A councillor who is a man of the people, who would refuse to take the mayoral allowance and serve instead as an unpaid elected chairperson, who would shun the mayoral limousine in favour of public transport, and who would follow the Lib Dem policy of selling off the mayoral chains, robes and chief executive's wig, which appears to be missing tonight, so maybe that's already happened, so that the money can be better spent on pothole repairs instead. The councillor whose beloved and well-known nana would make a cracking mayoress, and most importantly, the councillor who the Reform UK group leader's mam is a big fan of. So colleagues, it gives me great pleasure to nominate Councillor Stephen O'Brien to be Mayor of Sunderland.
Thank you very much. Councillor Brandon Feely, do you wish to speak to your nomination?
Oh, that is working. Good. Yes, I would love to speak to Stephen O'Brien to become mayor. I've known Stephen for quite a while now. I used to work with Stephen, and there's one thing that stands out about him. He will be a mayor who wears a lot of different football shirts. And I think you'll bring a lot of flair to the chamber off the back of that. Stephen won't like me saying this, but he is getting endorsed by Keir Starmer's Labour on this occasion. And I know if he was sitting on that chair right now, he would be giving me hell for saying that. As we know, he is father of the house. He's the most experienced. So that is something that we also need to consider because we've got a lot of new people here, and I think he will make a cracking mayor. He already has a season ticket, I'm told, at Sunderland. So he will not be able to go in the mayor's seat because he will already have a seat. So yes, I do think Stephen would make a good mayor, in all honesty though. He is very principled, honest, true to himself, and he definitely knows how to put people down, which we're definitely going to need over the next year. Thank you.
All in favour of Councillor Stephen O'Brien to become the mayor, please raise your hands. All in favour of Councillor Robert Hutchinson to become the mayor, please raise your hands. There is a clear majority in the favour of Councillor Robert Hutchinson. I declare that Councillor Robert Hutchinson is elected Mayor of the City of Sunderland for the ensuing year.
I now call upon the Mayor to read and sign the Declaration of Acceptance of Office.
I, Robert Hutchinson, having been elected to the office of Mayor of the Council of the City of Sunderland, hereby declare that I take that office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties in accordance to the best of my judgment and ability.
I now invite the Mayor to make his acceptance speech.
Guests, family, friends and colleagues, thank you for being here to witness my inauguration as Mayor. I'd first like to offer thanks to Mayor Hack, Mayor Scanlon and Deputy Mayor Thornton for everything they've achieved during their time in office. Well done on a very successful year, and I hope you can all have a well-deserved rest now. Next, I'd like to thank my friend, Councillor Blackett, for nominating me. You're a very brave man, Bill. Also, Councillor Greener for seconding the nomination. Thank you also to my consort, Glenda Hall, and to Janine Morrow, my Deputy Mayor. That's the introduction done, so who am I? I was born and bred in Sulksworth. My business has been there for over 56 years, operating out of the Miners' Hall. My dad was a miner, my mum a nurse. They raised me to be hard-working and grounded in common sense. I started the business in the late 60s. It was called Optic Innovation, a psychedelic light show. 58 years later, the business is stronger than ever. I've never forgotten my roots or where I came from. I left school without an O level or an A level. I acquired a spirit level. It was an old-style school that taught me the traditional values of honesty and integrity, which have led to where I am today. In 1982, I worked for the Rolling Stones. I often think I started at the top and I worked my way down. I've worked on some massive productions, but I feel that what I'm heading into is going to be even bigger. On a serious note, I want to take a moment to remember Geoffrey Doherty, who's just recently passed. I worked for Jeff in the beginning at his Fillmore North at the Locarno. He was a close friend and mentor who brought many incredible bands, including Led Zeppelin, The Who, Pink Floyd, to Sunderland. However, his most famous achievement was The Hunter, that was the free song, The Hunter, which remained a Sunderland anthem for years. He came to many of my festivals over the years. Our friendship led to me being the inspiration of his book, A Promoter's Tale, and he was kind enough to credit it to me. What Jeff did as a promoter for Sunderland and the whole of the North East will never be equalled. As a member of Sunderland Antiquarian Society, I believe our history is incredible. Did you know Butch Cassidy's mother was born in Monk Weymouth? James Herriot, born in Roker. I was lucky enough to meet his son and daughter at the unveiling of a blue plaque at his birthplace in Brandon Street. However, I have a bone of contention regarding the Venerable Bede, who I believe has been hijacked by Jarrow. From his writings, it would appear he was on the weir more than the time. He was clearly a Mackem, probably a Sunderland supporter, but that might be pushing a little bit. I'm tired of seeing Sunderland being put down in the national press. We have a beautiful coastline, great heritage, but above all, the friendliest people in the world. Regarding my allowances, I will donate both to wayside charities. But first, I will need pause for thought. and look through the list, and I'll let you know who they are. Finally, to my wife and thank you. Finally, to my wife and family, thank you. You've put up with me for decades, and that has been no small task. To my colleagues, thank you for placing your trust in me. This is the greatest honour of my life, and I will not let you down. Thank you. I have appointed Chris Hancock from St Mary's Church to be chaplain for my term of office. However, Chris cannot be with us tonight, so I've asked a very, very close friend, Philip Oliver from Sunderland, Silksworth Independent Methodist Church, to offer prayers.
Thank you. Good evening. Yes, I've known Rob for a long time, long time. I pushed his first van, put it that way. Let's pray together. Heavenly Father, we are reminded today, Lord, that you are a good, good Father. With this in mind, we each pray for and lift up our own local leadership for your blessing and gracious intervention. In appreciation of their service and responsibilities, we come before you with their needs in reverence, as well as seeking for peace among our nation. Thank you that the Mayor, Councillor Rob Hutchinson, and his consort, Councillor Glenda Hall, serve the people of our city. I pray that they would serve with renewed vigour to address the needs of our community. Today, many of our cities and towns in the United Kingdom are at a crossroads. Therefore, I seek your blessing and favour upon Rob and Glenda. May they engage with the people of Sunderland in a proactive measures to continue to apply strategies for health and safety, as well as launching a solid plan for economic re-establishment. May there be a balanced strategy to address the collective needs of Sunderland and the surrounding area, with individual enablement for each citizen to be able to move forward in positive participation in their community. We pray for outstanding leadership at this time. Thank you, Father, that your good and gracious favour, which you bestow willingly on people as we pray an intercession at this critical time in our history. We look to you, Lord, as our Saviour and Redeemer. We pray that you give Rob and Glenda capable assistance through the administration and staff serving here in the city centre, Sunderland. Father, give this mayor a soft hand, but a stiff backbone. Give him a quiet determination that marches towards justice, no matter what he might face. May each one gladly contribute in any way, whether humble or significant. And we pray for unity of purpose, so that good strategies and plans may be implemented quickly. Bless the City Council as they meet, and provide for and protect each member and their families in these days. And finally, Father, let this day be a day for the children of Sunderland. Let Rob's life and position be one that encourages hope and possibility from the coast to the coalfields. Lord, all he will need, you will provide. So give Rob strength for today and a bright hope for tomorrow. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Philip. I now call upon Councillor Tobin to make a vote of thanks to the retiring Mayor.
Thank you, Mr Mayor, and good evening, honoured guests and colleagues. It's both a privilege and a pleasure today to speak as leader of the Labour Group, and tonight I want to pay tribute to our outgoing Mayor. He's made history as the youngest Mayor this council's ever seen. That alone would mark his year as significant, But what truly defines his term as mayor is not the milestones, but the substance behind them. As a ward colleague representing Barnes and Thornhill, I've had the privilege of seeing his work up close. He's an outstanding ward councillor. He's dedicated, he's visible, and he's deeply committed to residents. At the same time, though, he's carried out the full weight of his mayoral duties with remarkable energy and humour. The sheer number of engagements and visits he has attended over the past year has been nothing short of extraordinary. He did so with warmth, humility, and genuine interest and enthusiasm at every single event. And not just the usual engagements, but places that frankly have never seen a mayoral chain walk through the door before. Community groups who may have felt overlooked suddenly felt recognised, and that really matters, and you should be very proud of that. He's really connected with people in a way that's felt real, especially younger residents. He's shown them that civic life isn't some distant, dusty institution, it's something they can see themselves in. I'm not sure many previous mayors have found themselves doing a TikTok with the American women's rugby team, but when he did, their reaction said it all. Wait, I'm not going to do the accent, you're all right. Wait, he's 28? Aren't mayors usually old white guys? A great memory of one of Sunderland's finest hours. Amongst his many achievements, he's also raised over £26,000 for his charities, an incredible total that speaks to both his energy and the goodwill he's built across this city. That's an amazing achievement. I also want to take a moment to recognise outgoing Deputy Mayor Melanie Thornton. Her commitment, particularly to Coalfields Pride, has been deeply meaningful. Safe, welcoming spaces where people can come together, be themselves and celebrate openly is no small thing. It matters enormously and it hasn't gone unnoticed. Returning to Councillor Hack, beyond the numbers, beyond the milestones, what I'll remember most is how he's carried himself with humility and warmth and just the right amount of humour, something that's been very essential at times in this chamber. So many that I've spoken to across the political spectrum in this chamber found him to be an excellent chair of full council. He chaired with dignity, clarity and fairness. He represents the very best of public service. So yes, I stand here as leader of a small group, but on this, I think I speak with a much bigger voice. On behalf of everyone here, I thank you for your service, your leadership and your friendship. You have done your city proud and set a standard that will be very hard to follow. Thank you.
The vote of thanks will be seconded by Councillor Feely.
Let me just get this. Good evening, Mr Mayor, honoured guests and colleagues. There's not really much more I can add to that, to be honest. I thought that was really good to say. A year ago, I did have the honour of seconding Evesham to be mayor, and I came into the party at the same time as Evesham, and we now found ourselves on this side with 5 of us. I find it incredible that everything we've gone through, that we are still here. And I just want to say, as a friend, I'm really proud of you, considering all of the stuff that's happened in the city over the last couple of years, to be in your position and take some of the comments on social media and take the abuse and still do that well of a job is just magnificent. So I really am proud of you. And I want to say some words for Melanie as well, the lovely Melanie. I'm so sorry, Melanie, that you will not get the chance yet to be mayor, but I know you are just terrific. And as well for Linda Scanlon over there. Hello, Linda. I just wanted to say as well, a huge thank you for your service as well, because it really is appreciated. Thank you.
I now call upon Councillor Hack to reply. Sorry. Oh, Councillor Edgeworth, I understand you wish to speak.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Yes. Just on behalf of the biggest and best opposition party in Sunderland, can I pass on our thanks and good wishes to you for being a great Mayor of Sunderland. You've been reasonable and patient and almost always impartial in the council meetings, and you earned the respect of the Lib Dem group, which is not always an easy task for a Labour councillor, as I'm sure you've found. You've let the opposition have its say, raise concerns on behalf of our residents, have a fair share of heckling, indulged us in the cut and thrust of debates, which makes these meetings worthwhile instead of being dull and staged and rehearsed. You've even struck down the occasional Labour Party amendment for being out of scope, much to our delight and much to the anger of your former leader, I'm sure. I know you've spent countless hours on mayoral duties, visiting hundreds of people, groups, schools, charities across the city, probably to the detriment of your own job, career, time with family and friends. I've really enjoyed getting to know you better, lots of your mayoral events for your great charities in the past year. Most of all, I'd like to comment on the dignity in which you've carried out the role, even in the face of some horrific and totally undeserved vitriol. So I think you've done a cracking job, and on behalf of the Liberal Democrats, I just wanted to give our sincere thanks for your mayoral year. I hope that future mayors or unpaid elected chairpersons, if we get our way, will follow your lead in chairing these meetings fairly, building relationships with all councillors and all parties, and representing and engaging with everyone who lives, works and visits Sunderland. And if I may, can I also say thank you to Melanie for her year as Deputy Mayor. It's been great to get to know you and some of your family and friends at the mayoral events throughout the year, and I am disappointed that we won't have a you as mayor for a year, because I was looking forward to what would have undoubtedly been a lot of fun, I think, fun and fundraising, I'm sure. So just to wish you all the best for the future as well. So thank you to the outgoing mayor and deputy mayor from the Liberal Democrats group. Thank you.
I now call upon Councillor Hack to reply.
Councillor Chapman's got a hand up. Councillor Chapman.
Mr Mayor, could I have a moment, please?
Sorry, Councillor Chapman,
I
do you
will
wish
stand
to
so you
speak?
can say me yes, please, just for 1 minute. If I could just say a few words about my friend Melanie. I've got a favourite quote, and it is, "The opposite of love is not hatred, it's indifference." I'd like to say this is not the case for Melanie. She's got a heart as big as her mouth. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you at Coalfields Pride this year. Thank you.
I now call upon Councillor Hack to reply.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, honoured guests, friends, family and colleagues, it has been the honour and privilege of my life to serve as the Mayor of this great and ancient city. I would like to offer congratulations to the new Mayor, Councillor Robert Hutchinson, and the Deputy Mayor, Councillor Janine Morrow. I hope you both have a tremendous year and enjoy every second of it, as I have. During my time as Deputy Mayor and then Mayor, I have attended over 340 engagements, and the Deputy Mayor, Melanie, has attended 82 engagements. Together, we have had the great privilege of meeting the most incredible people. I had the honour of hosting receptions for extraordinary people whose efforts were recognised by His Majesty the King, with MBEs, BEMs, King's Awards for Business and Voluntary Services, and Freedom of the City ceremonies. Every mayor participates in Sunderland Council and city-based events. There are so many memorable occasions that I will remember forever. To mention a few would be the opening of the Women Rugby's World Cup at the Stadium of Light, the opening of the new Keele Crossing footbridge, and supporting our military with annual flag-raising ceremonies and Remembrance Day parade, and visiting HMS Trent and SS Hessmadden ships, and joining various regiments for their annual retreats and parades. Both the Deputy Mayor and I have enjoyed attending regular citizenship ceremonies and visiting wards across the city to switch on Christmas lights. Last year also seen Sunderland's very first New Year's Eve extravaganza in Keele Square, which was a huge success for the city. Sunderland is a city on the up, with hundreds of millions of pounds of investments and various developments underway, and the great events in the pipeline for our residents to enjoy. Our city is undergoing a massive regeneration, and I wish the Council the best of luck in keeping these developments and investments ongoing. Last week, I was at the annual 3K, 5K, 10K and half marathon runs. I didn't run in them, I just went along. And this weekend, the city is hosting the Radio 1 Big Weekend in Harrington Country Park. There are so many engagements that I have been and enjoyed to attend, but unfortunately it is impossible to mention every single engagement. However, I can honestly say being mayor will always be one of the most special times and the best of memories of my life. That said, being mayor is a massive commitment of your time, and I would like to thank those who have supported me over the past 2 years. My mayoress, Linda Scanlon, who herself was mayor from 2018 to 2019. Linda, your experience and wisdom guided me through my mayoral year. I would like to thank you for all your support and generosity. I would also like to thank my wife, who is here this evening. She's rushed home from her job. I will never forget our visit to Roker Park Model Boat Club, where upon asking, I was offered a model tugboat to test out. My wife, without asking, was offered a model warship 5 times the size of my boat. I would also like to say thank you to the Deputy Mayor, Melanie Thornton. Melanie, you have served with distinction, and you should be proud of your time, not only as Deputy Mayor, but as a councillor on this council. In my time as Mayor, I decided to raise money for 2 charities. The first one is Love Amelia, a charity that accepts donations of pre-loved baby clothes and other items and gives them to families who need them the most. The second charity is Hope Spring, a charity that helps educate vulnerable children who have gone through very traumatic experiences in their lives. To my family, friends, colleagues, and to my 2 charities, thank you for your unwavering support and attending so many of my charity fundraising events throughout this past year. Together, we have raised just over £26,600. Thank you to my chaplain, the Reverend Canon Claire McLaren, Provost, I've always struggled with that word, of Sunderland Minister, for hosting my Civic celebration and Civic carol service, and for offering prayers and blessings at so many of my Civic receptions. Thank you to the mayoral support staff, Dave, Bill, Chris, Mandy, and Estelle. Without the team, it would have been impossible to carry out this role. Lastly, I would like to say thank you to my ward colleague, Councillor Fiona Tobin. You've been amazing as my ward colleague. Honestly, I needed the support. Being the mayor, it does really eat into your time, and Fiona often picked up casework when I was busy. And thank you to Councillor Brandon Feely for, first of all, seconding me when I first became mayor and speaking for me now. Thank you for your vote of thanks and your kind words. Congratulations again to our new mayor and deputy mayor. I wish you both all the best, and of course the same goes to all our newly elected members. Thank you.
Now we have some presentations. I have great pleasure in presenting badges to Councillor Hack and the Mayoress to commemorate their year of office together with a photographic record of their engagement during the mayoral year. We will now deal with the election of the Deputy Mayor. Councillor Ledbetter, I understand you would like to make a nomination for the office of Deputy Mayor for the ensuing year.
Good evening, Mr Mayor, honoured guests and colleagues. Mr Mayor, I would like to nominate Councillor Janine Morrow for the position of Deputy Mayor for the coming year.
Councillor Ramsey, do you second the nomination?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Good evening, honoured guests and colleagues. I'd like to second that nomination.
I invite Councillor Ledbetter to speak to the nomination.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Mr Mayor, unlike Councillors Blackett and Councillor Greenark, I can't claim to have known Janine very long. I think Janine and I met a few months ago, Janine, outside of the Grange pub in Southwick on a Southwick Action Day arranged by our leader, Councillor Einan, who told us a little bit about Janine and how long he'd known her, etc., through his mum. But as you can imagine, obviously, meeting Janine for the first time as my would-be ward colleague, it was quite nerve-wracking. Would we get on? Would we gel quite well together? And I'm very pleased to say that I think from day one, Janine and I have really hit it off. We've been an excellent team together, and obviously with Councillor Scott, I think Councillor Scott would agree that in Councillor Morrow and Mr Mayor, you are going to have an absolutely dedicated Deputy Mayor. This is a lady who is so approachable, she's so kind, she's talkative, she's just an excellent woman to get along with. I'm so pleased to say she's not just my ward colleague now, she's my friend. Along with George, who absolutely worked his socks off during the election to help us, and to help Janine. He's become our Southwick mascot, if you like. He's a really good friend of ours now. But not just that, Mr Mayor, obviously, Janine really she's just a wonderful person, but she also has an absolute core of steel, Mr Mayor. Having witnessed firsthand how she dealt with a particular individual, Janine, if you recall, when we were out campaigning for Councillor Ramsey a few months back, when we were accosted by a gentleman who was not very pleased to see us in his street, as you can imagine. All of my training came into action pretty quick, and I immediately put myself right behind Janine Morrow and I pushed her forward, so she was between me and danger. But yeah, she dealt with it fantastically, and I've seen how time and time again she's spoke up, she's worked hard, and she's kept me and Councillor Scott going through the long campaign, and I think she'll be an absolute asset, Mr Mayor. And it's an absolute honour to stand here for the first time to nominate my ward colleague and my friend for the role of Deputy Mayor. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
I invite Councillor Ramsey to speak the nomination.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'm really pleased to second the nomination of Councillor Janine Morrow to the office of Deputy Mayor. I echo a lot of what Councillor Ledbetter has already said. Councillor Morrow is someone who cares deeply about her community and the residents that she serves. I'm so confident that she will carry out her duties with professionalism, dignity, and dedication over the coming year. I'm very happy to support this nomination. I know Councillor Morrow will credit this city and will credit you, Mr Mayor, in her position as Deputy Mayor. So I'm happy to second this. Thank you very much.
Are there any other nominations? Councillor Edgeworth.
I'd like to nominate Stephen O'Brien for Deputy Mayor, please.
I'll second that, Mr Mayor.
Who is in favour of the opposition nomination? Raise their hands. Sorry? I can't hear it. Councillor Edgeworth, would you speak, please?
I will. Thank you, Mr Mayor. Right, let's have another go, shall we? You've got the Mayor. Surely you aren't equally as bad as the Sunderland Labour Party and aren't going to carry on all their bad practices of hogging these both supposedly non-political and ceremonial roles of Mayor and Deputy Mayor. Surely you aren't going to waste your first opportunity in charge of this council to do exactly what the Labour Party would do and exactly what the Labour Party did for 50 years. Surely we're not seeing the emergence of a new uni party. And because I'm so generous, I'll give you the opportunity now to prove that you aren't just the Sunderland Labour Party Mark II by giving you a chance to do the right thing and to vote for Stephen O'Brien, the father of the House, may I remind you, as Deputy Mayor. Thank you.
Would Councillor Feely like to reply?
Oh, was it Fagan? Sorry.
Oh, sorry, would Councillor Fagan like to reply?
I think it's already been covered, actually. Thank you very much.
Will those in favour of the opposition nomination raise their hands? Thank you. Will those in favour of Councillor Janine Morrow raise their hands? There is a clear majority in favour of Councillor Jean Morrow. I declare that Councillor Janine Morrow is elected Deputy Mayor of the City for the ensuing year.
I now call upon the Deputy Mayor to read and sign the Declaration of Acceptance of Office.
I, Janine Morrow, having been elected to the office of Deputy Mayor of the Council of the City of Sunderland, hereby declare that I take that office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties of it according to the best of my judgment and ability. Just...
Yeah. I now invite the Deputy Mayor to make her acceptance speech.
Mr Mayor, honoured guests, colleagues, family and friends, may I begin by thanking the outgoing Mayor and Deputy Mayor for the job well done. Councillor Michael Ledbetter and Councillor Andrew Ramsey, I thank you both for the kind words in nominating and seconding the motion electing me in the office of Deputy Mayor of the City of Sunderland for the ensuing year. I feel extremely proud to have been nominated and elected a Deputy Mayor for the forthcoming year and look forward to supporting the new Mayor, Councillor Robert Hutchinson, and his consort in promoting the celebrating of our city. I am excited to get started working and look forward to supporting the Mayor with upcoming civic engagements. Thank you to everyone and congratulations once again to the new Mayor, and consort. Thank you.
We shall now deal with some formalities of the council meeting. The next item of the business is apologies. Do we have any apologies for absence?
Thank you, Mayor. We have apologies from Councillors Davies, Lloyd, Mimom, Pickering, Lang and King, and from Alderman Forbes and Tate. Thank you.
Are there any further apologies?
Councillor Edgeworth, please.
The Father of the House, Stephen O'Brien. Thank you.
The next item is to approve the minutes of the last meeting of the council held on the 25th of March 2026. Can I remind members that any comments must be related to the accuracy of the minutes? Can we agree the minutes?
No, Mr. Mayor, I would like to query something with the accuracy. Page 9, the last paragraph of the motion, I'd like to query the accuracy of the last paragraph on the grounds that it says, ask the relevant portfolio holder to provide an in-person progress report on this matter to both full council and a relevant scrutiny committee by June 2026. There is not another council meeting until June 2026, meaning that the motion, technically, what we've put forward from the previous council won't be dealt with as we had asked for in March. So I would like an update on that, and I might as well throw in a few things whilst I'm at it and query whether the Chief Executive has written to DCMS as well. Thank you.
Mr Mayor, through you, my understanding was that a report was to be referred back during June. It wasn't particularly by June the 1st. My understanding is it was during the month of June, so it would be expected to be in that case any time next month.
Mr Mayor, it does state by June 2026 though, so can I suggest that report comes to us as soon as possible? Thank you.
Yes, that's fine. I have no announcements to make. The next item on the agenda is the election of the leader of the council. Councillor Donaghy, I understand that you wish to make nomination. Would you like to make your nomination now, please?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Good evening, Mr Mayor, honourable guests and colleagues. I would like to nominate my friend, Councillor Christopher Enyon, as leader of the Reform Group on Sunderland Council.
Is the nomination seconded?
Good evening, Mr Mayor, honourable guests. Yes, it is. Councillor Hudspeth would like to second the nomination.
Can I invite Councillor Donaghy to speak, then Councillor Husband, if they have indicated?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Good evening, Mr Mayor, honourable guests and colleagues. The journey to Christopher Enyon, Councillor Christopher Enyon being sat next to me here tonight, has been one that has been in the making for a couple of years now. Me and Chris started off together in another party. I'll not say which one, but we also have to start off somewhere, and then we all mature and grow up, and then this is where we are now. This has been years and years of work that Chris has put into this, alongside Kira as well. When I got a phone call back in 2023 inviting me for a cup of coffee and a donut, I wasn't going to turn that down. So we met up in Tim Hortons in Washington. Christopher had an idea: come and join Reform UK. He sold me a vision. They had a plan, and this is the fruits of the labour that Christopher has put in over the last couple of years. All of the work that has gone on behind the scenes. I had a brief hiatus from this chamber, but I'm glad to say that I'm now back, and I'm so proud to be stood here in this chamber with my Reform UK colleagues and Councillor Enyon. There was a lot of speculation about who the leader of our group was going to be, but for me personally, there's only one person who could possibly be the leader of the Reform UK group, and I know my colleagues will all agree. Chris is the man who will lead not just the Reform UK group in the council, but he will lead this city. There's a lot of people outside of this chamber who want us to fail, and dare I say there's some people in this room who want us to fail, but I'm here to tell you we will not fail. Under Chris's leadership, We will put Sunderland first. I invite the Lib Dem colleagues and my Labour colleagues to work with us and not against us. I would like to think we all have Sunderland's best interest at heart. Work with us and not against us, and we will deliver for this city. And while I've got the floor, Mr Mayor, if I may, I would like to pay a brief tribute to the outgoing Mayor on the way he's conducted himself over the past year. I have been watching the council meetings and I have seen things that have been said online. We've had a few conversations personally. I know you're a very good man, and I'd just like to thank you for how you've conducted yourself over the last year in your term as Mayor. And to our new Mayor and Deputy, you've got this. We've got this. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Can I invite Councillor Husmith to speak, please?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. That is a very tough act to follow, Mr Mayor, but I have known Councillor Einan now for about 6 years, and I've been with him every step of the way through his political journey. As Councillor Donaghy correctly points out, there was a lot of criticism in our group to say, why haven't we elected a leader? But unlike some opposition parties, we like to do it democratically. So we had to wait until we had the councillors first. Chris has led us locally since we joined the party back in 2022, alongside our colleague, Councillor Donaghy. I won't go over the Tim Horton story again, as he's already taken it off me. However, Mr Mayor, I have no doubt that Councillor Einan will lead this council with dignity and easily become the best leader this council chamber has ever seen. It's an honour to serve by your side, and I look forward to the year ahead. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Are there any further nominations? Councillor Edgeworth, would you like to speak, please?
I'd like to nominate myself as leader of the council and would like to speak to it as well. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Would you speak, please?
I will, thank you. I'll start by wishing all new... Oh, does it need to be seconded first? Apologies.
I'll second it, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Can I start by wishing all new councillors from all parties represented here well. As has been mentioned, we're all elected to get things done for the people we represent, and I look forward to working with you all in the coming months and years to deliver for everyone in our city. Congratulations to Reform colleagues on their win. And obviously, while I have political differences, I hope that after decades of complacent and arrogant rule from Sunderland Labour, and after 2 years of a Keir Starmer yes-man leader who just took instructions and lines to take from his party HQ, even if it was bad for Sunderland, we see a fresh start. Residents, as has been pointed out, want to see us working together. They want to get back to basics and really focus on improving basic local services. We want better road repairs, more CCTV, cleaner streets, better green spaces to make sure that our estates and communities across Sunderland, Washington, Houghton and Hetton feel the benefit of what the council is doing and don't feel left behind. This is what Liberal Democrats want to see. And in case it's helpful, I've already provided the Cabinet with a copy of this year's Liberal Democrat Alternative Revenue Budget, which has £1.85 million worth of fully costed savings that could be implemented immediately, including by slashing wasteful spending on things like allowances, expenses, perks, freebies and council propaganda. So you are welcome to steal any and all of our ideas and pass them off as your own. But despite Reform UK's majority in this chamber, my sources at the excellent Twitter account Tyne and Weir Elects informed me that 60% of people in Sunderland who voted did not vote for Reform UK. And while it gives me great pleasure to see the Labour group totally decimated and the Conservative and Green parties wiped out, it does mean that it's now up to the Liberal Democrats, the official opposition to reform in Sunderland, to represent all those voters who didn't want reform councillors or a reform council. And if it's the Lib Dems who are representing 60% of the voters in this city, then logically it's only fair and democratic that I am appointed leader of the council. Thank you very much.
Councillor Fagan, would you like to speak?
Hi, thank you, Mr Mayor. I would like to second Paul for council leader. He is a great leader of our group and of the majority group. He led us to victory by holding the book, held back the trend of and the landslide of reform within Sunderland. We came out of the elections without any lost troops as such. We held all of our seats, and it's down to the hard work of Paul. He's a very hard-working councillor and very hard-working leader of our group, and he's very fair, and he could get the job done as council leader. So I second Paul.
Does anyone else wish to speak in connection with this item?
I would like to speak, please, Mr Mayor.
Please continue.
Thank you, everybody. I would just like to say, whilst I'm not fully backing Paul Edgeworth for leader of the council, sorry, Paul, I think we do need to hear a little bit more from Reform UK on what they're going to deliver that's going to genuinely improve the lives of Sunderland residents beyond simply criticising the previous Labour administration. You know, we've secured major investment into the city, had clear plans and strategies all across parts of life. One of the first actions seems to have been to increase the cabinet, so I'll be interested to see how those allowances are going to be factored into when there's you know, apparently going to be making the most out of cuts and all the waste that's apparently been generated through the last council. So I'm very, very interested to hear that. Can you explain, you know, I'm sure you're going to get a chance to speak, what your actual policies are going to be, how you're going to protect frontline services while continuing investment in our future. So it's not a full backing of Paul, but I'd like to hear a little bit more from that side on their actual policies. Thank you.
Could I invite votes for Councillor Edgeworth, please? 1, 2, 3, 4. Could I invite votes for Councillor Enon, please? I declare that the Councillor Enon, Chris Enon, is appointed leader of the council. Turning to item 9, I now call upon the leader to advise us of the appointment he has made to the Cabinet and the portfolio responsibilities and any amendments to the arrangements for the delegation of executive functions.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. The names and portfolios of the appointed Cabinet members are as set out in the list of nominations circulated on the supplementary report. Thank you.
Thank you, Leader. I have received notice that Councillor Edgeworth wishes to speak.
Yes, thank you, Mr Mayor. I wish the Cabinet well, because their success will be Sunderland's success, but we will be scrutinising and making sure you deliver for everyone in our city. Just a point that Fiona Tobin picked up on, it appears that Deputy Cabinet members are back in a huge new Cabinet, and could we get some clarification before we vote on this item, whether they will be getting a special responsibility allowance and whether you will be hiking allowances at the taxpayer's expense. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Mr Mayor, through you, just to clarify, this item isn't subject to full council's agreement. It's simply for council to note the appointments of the leader.
Can council note item 9? We now move to items 10 to 14, which are various appointments and update to the Constitution and recommendations in respect of the council diary. I call upon the leader...
Point of order, Mr Mayor. Council never said they agree.
Agreed. We now move...
Point of order, Mr Mayor. That didn't sound like the vast majority of councillors. I'm sorry to be flippant, but we have to follow the rules.
Could we agree again? Did you hear that?
That's fine by me.
Right. We now move to items 10 to 14, which are various appointments and update to the Constitution and recommendations in respect of the council diary. I call upon the leader to move to items 10 to 14.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. In relation to item 10, the details including the nominations are set out in the report on the agenda. Together with the supplementary report, which has been circulated, I move items 10 to 14 inclusive. Thank you.
Councillor Cowie, do you second the motion?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I would like to second the motion.
Councillor Enon, do you wish to speak the motion?
Yes, I'd like to speak on that, Mr Mayor.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, so with regards to the situation in the cabinet positions, this is just returning us to a mean of what was previously done. There was previously deputy positions in the cabinet. And with that in mind, obviously the Uni Party, as we can see, it's well represented here tonight, both voting for the same mayors, both voting for the same leaders. But the mandate's very, very clear. We got over 101,000 votes. Labour have been decimated. I can just about make them out at the back there. Still here. Good to see you. But the bottom line is, obviously, the victors of this election, Labour was not one of them. And people voted for change, whether it was real change with the Reform UK or any other parties. But to that end, the previous positions with Labour, they didn't give the opposition the lickings when it came to positions. And that's one thing of Labour that we're happy to return the serve on. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Councillor Kerry, do you wish to speak to the motion?
I would, thank you, Mr Mayor. Just echoing what Councillor Einan said about the lack of anything really meaningful for the opposition, I'd just like to touch on that a bit more. So as we begin this new administration, we'd like to sort of set the tone for what we want to do. And in part, that means a proper respect for the opposition, mostly the official opposition, I shall add. With that in mind, we have decided to offer the Liberal Democrats a little bit more than what they had under Labour and the previous administration. We think this is the right thing to do. Don't worry, we're not a uni party. But we think there needs to be a bit more fairness, constructive engagement and scrutiny than there was in previous years. We'd like to have a healthy relationship with the opposition. Certainly myself and Councillor Einan look forward to having our names tarnished on the next issue of Focus. Second most trusted after Wearside Reformer, thank you. But ultimately working together on the things that we can agree on. So that's the approach we intend to take moving forward, working with colleagues across the chamber. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Point of order, Mr Mayor. Point of order, Mr Mayor. Can I ask a question? Can I just clarify something, please, in the on item 11, point of order, personal clarification, rule 1.2e, the Tyne-Away Anti-Fascist Association. It says here no appointments to be made at this meeting whilst further information is sought. Can you give a timeline on what that will take the form of? I am looking forward to being on every committee that we can possibly be on and working to really hold our new colleagues to account. I'll do so professionally and I'll expect to have that back, but I'd like to ask that question, please.
Yep, in regard to that particular committee, we have reached out to them to see if there actually are an active committee, if they actually are not just a dormant, moribund committee, and if they get back to us, we can have that conversation. Thank you.
Does anyone wish to speak on the items, or are there any alternative nominations? I have received notice that Councillor Edgeworth wishes to speak.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Yes, before I speak, I have some nominations that aren't in the pack, and that is in relation to the Health and Wellbeing Scrutiny Committee. I'd like to remove Steve Duncan from that committee and add Michael Peacock. That's a change to the printed copy. And the Vice Chair's left blank, so I'd like to nominate Michael Peacock as Vice Chair of Health and Wellbeing Scrutiny Committee. And then I'll move on to the reports more generally, with your indulgence. And just say that at every one of these annual council meetings for a decade, Niall Hudson before me and I spoke about the need to improve scrutiny at this council and follow best practice, that scrutiny should be opposition-led. This is the clear guidance from the Centre for Scrutiny and Governance and was a feature of the Local Government Association's recent peer review of this council, which recommended a review of scrutiny. And in great contrast to the arrogant we know best attitude of former Labour leaders and cabinets, it's actually been really refreshing to have some constructive discussions in the past week with colleagues in the Reform UK group about how we may how we can work together to share ideas and really bolster the scrutiny functions at this council, how we can improve services for residents, how we can identify wasteful spending inherited by the previous administration, how we can really dig deep into the culture and practices that have built up over 5 decades of Labour rule at this council. As the Deputy Leader has said, I hope this constructive way of working can continue where there is common cause, where we are working to improve local services and to improve value for money for council taxpayers. One of the specific calls that we and organisations like the LGA and the Centre for Scrutiny and Governance asked for over many years was that chairs and vice chairs of scrutiny committees should be allocated according to political balance. That is only right and fair in a democracy, but it is something that Labour never did, and something that I'm sure their 5 remaining councillors are now extremely frustrated by. So I'm delighted, as has been mentioned, that after discussions with the Leader and his colleagues, of the 8 chair and vice chair positions on scrutiny committees, they have offered us 2, which is in line with the political balance at this council. And this is undoubtedly the right thing to do, and I'll say once again, something Labour never did. So, of course, I think the chair of the Scrutiny Coordinating Committee should always be held by an opposition councillor, as happens at the Mayoral Strategic Authority, but I would say that, wouldn't I? Nevertheless, the Lib Dem Group look forward to serving as Vice Chair of the Economic Prosperity and the Health and Wellbeing Scrutiny Committees, working alongside colleagues from all parties to make sure that these committees deliver savings and improvements for all of our residents. So just a thank you to colleagues in the majority party for a constructive approach to scrutiny and opposition roles at this council. Obviously, we have political differences. I won't be afraid of calling you out on those when necessary, but I think residents will appreciate that where we have good ideas, we can work together to get things done. Thank you.
Councillor Feely, would you like to speak?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I would. Thank you. On item 10, planning and highways, we have a chair who I do not feel will be impartial on this committee. Councillor Hobson-Tate has made some remarks online about how she will possibly not allow building on certain bits of greenfield in her area, which she is entitled to her view on. However, you have to be impartial as a chair, and I do not feel that she will do that. So I'm interested to see how the reform group goes when it comes to house building in their backyards. It is also worth noting that on item 11, we have got some interesting decisions made from the reform group, particularly in Washington. So we have, by the looks of it, for Washington LMAPs, we have a councillor in Horton North chairing LMAPs, which seems to be a bit bizarre to me. We then turn to Springwell Village, which is part of my new ward, which elected 2 Labour councillors. And Bowes Railway has a councillor from Southwick that is going to be on the board. Now, that to me is not a good start and definitely not something which I think Reform should do. I would like them to reconsider some of these appointments. Thank you.
Councillor Enon, do you wish to reply?
Yes, please, Mr. Mayor. Once again, thanks for highlighting the fantastic work Councillor Hobson-Tate has done standing up for residents in regards to greenbelt developments. She's a professional. She will keep that impartiality going forward, but thanks for highlighting the great work she's done thus far. Former Councillor Burrell's a big fan of her as well, so happy days. In regards to the Washington positions that you mentioned, we've got so many councillors, we've got to find somewhere to put them, Councillor Feely, but we could have a conversation and I'm sure we can fit you in somewhere maybe down the line. Thank you.
Can we agree items 10 to 14, possibly quite loud? Thank you. That concludes the business of the annual council meeting. Those that have been invited are welcome to join me for refreshments in the foyer.